This is awesome. This person said that when he was in high school, he was applying to colleges, and there was one college that he really wanted to go to. So he was at his counselor's office, and they were talking about this. Yeah, so I really want to go to that school, Steven, and I think I can do it. Steven, you're not getting into the school, man. Steven was pissed. He went to the principal's office and told the principal the situation. Yeah, so Mr. Johnson just completely, disregarded me and shut me down, said that there's no way I'm getting into that school. Well, Steven, he has a point. I mean, look at the school and look at you. Apply to a state school, come, just go. This made Steven even more mad. So what did he do? He went home. He sat down at his computer and he began writing his college essay. He went to town. He was writing. He was thinking. His brainstorming. Thoughts were just spurting out of everywhere. He was done. He sent it off to that school that he really wanted to go to, and he waited. Well, time passed, and suddenly there was a big packet in his mailbox. He goes inside and he opens it. Accepted. I got in. I got in. He got into the school. Oh my God, he was so freaking excited. Well, it turns out this school was way too much money and he could not afford it, so he ended up not going to school, but he made copies of the acceptance letter and he taped it to the door of his counselor and the principal. One for you, and one for you. People who were legends in their high school. When this guy was in high school, the mascot was a bulldog. Well, one day, this kid was driving around doing donuts in the high school parking lot when he accidentally ran into the statue of the bulldog. The crash knocked the bulldog off its platform, and this kid freaked out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. He looked around and nobody saw what happened, so he got out of his car, picked up the bulldog, and shoved it into his trunk. He then drove to a bridge and tossed the bulldog into the water, disposing of the evidence. I'm so sorry. He never told anybody about this. It was a huge deal at the school with an entire investigation. It wasn't until 15 years later when he was having beers with his brother that he confessed. His brother was amazed that he was able to keep this secret for this long. Every day this kid would come home with bruises and cuts, and his mom would always ask, "Oh my God, sweetie, what happened to you?" "Oh, just football, Mom. It's rough." But here's the truth. It wasn't from football. After school, there was this fight club that was in somebody's garage who lived near the school. It wasn't just like one or two kids. It was like 30 of them. They would gather at this guy's garage, they would circle up, and they would throw down. And here's the thing. The guy that hosted this, his parents worked late, so they were never home after school. All right, gather in. Round one. Martouche and Kenny. You ready? Let's rock, Salmon Man. And they weren't going easy on each other either. It was insane. There was split lips, busted teeth, and what's the rule of Fight Club? You know it. Nobody talked about it outside of this circle. So every night this kid would walk back in his house, beat up, bloody, and he would say the same thing. "Football practice, Mom. It was rough, but it was never football." That's insane. My favorite comebacks. This is what I'd say if somebody made fun of the way I dressed. "Hey, Robbie." "What's up, Fritz?" "You dressed like a frickin' grandpa, bro." "That must be why your mom calls me daddy." Take that back. People who were legends in their high school. When this kid was a freshman in high school, he was always bullied by the wrestling and the boxing club students. And he was beat up really badly that year. So during the summer, he started working out every day. And he took Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu lessons. By the end of that summer, he was pretty buff and he knew how to fight. His parents wanted to go on vacation before the school year started, so they went to Dubai. They were in Dubai for about a month, and while he was there, he still worked out every day and he trained in martial arts. Shortly after that, he was back in school, and a few days in, he saw the bullies. They didn't know what he had been up to that summer, and one day during lunch, they started to pick a fight with him. All his friends were telling him to run, but he didn't run. Instead, he used his knowledge in martial arts, and he absolutely won that fight against those three bullies. Everyone was amazed. The entire lunchroom began chanting his name. He felt like a star. But a teacher saw him and he was suspended. The bullies never messed with him again, and he said it was totally worth it. The coolest doctor ever. This man's wife went into labor on Halloween, and their doctor who was going to deliver that baby was at a Halloween party when he got the call that he had to come in. Well, he came in, still in costume. Check it out. I just hope he didn't make the baby disappear. Crazy. The dumbest school rules ever. We have another one. This middle school wouldn't let their students talk at all during lunch. Apparently, this is a very common rule. But at one middle school, there was a group of friends that wanted to beat the system. So over the course of a few months, they all individually learned sign language. They became fluent, and they started talking to each other during lunch with sign language only. Oh my god, what are they doing? Dear God. Did they all learn sign language? Can they do that? Are they allowed to do that? I'll get the principal. And they couldn't do anything about it because sign language technically isn't talking. This kid made over $1,000 running a business in Zoom school. My followers sent me this story about a business that he ran. It was during the pandemic, when all the schools were closed and everyone was taking classes on Zoom. This guy really wanted to make some money, but he didn't know how. In-person school was not happening at the moment, so he couldn't run a traditional business there. Well, one day while sitting in a Zoom class, somebody raided it, and it wasted a bunch of time. And that's when he got a brilliant idea. He told everybody that he knew at his school and at other schools that if they Venmo'd him $5 and gave him their Zoom class information, he would raid their Zoom class. And people frickin' did it. Business was booming. Kids had him do this so they could waste time in class or just for pure entertainment. In total, he made $1,200. But this all stopped when schools reopened. But still, that was a genius move on his part. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. This one kid's dad always had a shopping list on the fridge, and whenever he wanted something, he could add it to the shopping list, as long as it wasn't candy. Well, he wanted to start selling candy at school, so what he did was he would put ingredients to make candy on the shopping list. And then when his dad would come back from shopping, he would take the ingredients and make this type of homemade candy. He would then divvy the candy up and put it into plastic bags, bring it to school, and sell it to students. Right away, kids loved this stuff. They said it was addicting. And when he realized kids loved this stuff so much, he was raising the prices. And people still paid. The entire time he was selling, business was booming. I don't know if he was shut down or if he's still running this, but he made some really good money. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When this girl was in first grade, she had a bunch of old Barbies that she never played with, and she wanted to make some money. So she got an idea. She cut off all the hair on all of her Barbies and put them in separate Ziploc bags. She would then bring these bags of hair to school and tell all the kids at her school that the bags of hair were from celebrities like Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, and these kids believed her. She charged $1.50 per bag, and the most popular bag was Justin Bieber's hair. In total, she made $50, but the parents of students were complaining to the school, asking, "Why are my kids coming home hungry?" Turns out, the way these kids paid for the hair was by giving her their snack money. The principal then found out about this and she was shut down. What an evil genius. Genius ways people cheated on a test. This dude said that when he was in high school, one of his buddies stole the final exam out of the teacher's desk when she wasn't looking. That day, they took the test home and used the textbook to fill all of the answers in. Since the test was multiple choice, this kid decided to make coded keychains with colored beads on it. The test was 50 questions long, so the keychain had 50 beads on it. A red bead was A, a blue bead was B, yellow was C, and green was D. It would start with the first bead on the top as question 1 and go down from there. He then attached that keychain to his car keys and just left his keys on top of his desk as he took the test. The best part was the teacher complimented that keychain as she was passing the test out. He said, "Thanks, my little sister made it." She thought that was so sweet. But the truth is that kid did not have a little sister. Genius. This is a squishy poo-poo, and I'm gonna throw it at the wall again. Things my old carnival job taught me about carnivals part 4. Yes, the basketball game. It's a fan favorite and people love to play it. I always knew that there was something up with this game, but then when I saw it for myself, I was kinda shocked. So, yes, the rims are oval-shaped, which makes it really harder to get that swish. Also positioned higher than regulation, and the balls are overinflated, which make them extra bouncy. When I used to work there, I always had a ball on me that I would just toss around and have fun with. It was different than the balls that people played with. Mine was normal, theirs were extra inflated. Quick tip for you, if you want to win this game, ask the game worker to use their ball. 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes, and then try to swish it.